everyone, today on the G3 Boardroom we are going to be reviewing The Hunt. It is a worker placement game where you are trying to track down fugitives from the bad guys in the Second World War.
The agreed upon bad guys from the Second Global Conflict.
Yeah,
somewhere around 1945.
Yeah, the same guys that Indiana Jones was bugged by.
And again in Last Crusade.
Yes.
And Dial of Destiny.
And Dial of Destiny.
Yes.
And
that was post-World War. Post-Global Conflict 2.
So I always do the piece on components, so I'll do that again. The components here are nothing overly special, but they do get the job done. The board is good enough. I do have a complaint about the board, though. These are actually 3 different sections, but there's nothing delineating that.
Yeah.
It looks like one complete section. And so if you put here, what the rule is you can't put in the same section more than once on your turn. So I can't put 2 guys here, but I could put a guy here and over here. And it's just, it needs to be more clearly marked. I don't like how they have it defined.
Oh, and by the way, we should probably say, in case no one's watched the playthrough, go watch the playthrough. But if you don't want to watch it, in this game what you're doing is you play one of 4 asymmetric powers, and you're trying to move up the victory track, and you do that by capturing all these fugitives that are around. The way you capture the fugitives is you go around, you place your workers all over the place here to gather up the resources. You use the resources.
Intel or resources? A little bit of both.
Intel,
They're called clue cards. We just call them resources.
Then you have your agents that you deploy to the different regions, and then you use your resources or clues to capture the people. Then once you capture them, there's effects on there which let you solve or satisfy your objectives. Then by satisfying your objectives, typically is where you advance your track.
Right.
And so, his talking about these should be 3 different sections. That's really important because when you're trying to get these resources, you can't just put people in the same section during your turn.
Right. More on the components. Besides the board, you also have the card stock. I think is good enough. These get a fair amount of action, and so I probably would. With the resource cards, do you really want to sleeve resource cards? They're not going to get marked in such a way where they're going to be bad, but...
And I could see it really cluttering the board with sleeves.
Yeah, and not only that, new sleeves are always slippery, and so if you use a Lazy Susan, you're going to watch all those things flop all over the place.
Which is helpful because there's a lot of stuff on these cards you have to read.
Right. Next is meeples, pretty standard, just wood meeples. They're good enough, but they look like little cowboys
they
to me
do look like cowboys.
Instead of spies.
Oh, I think they're supposed to be like fedoras, like the spy.
Right. With the cloak and the, All right, and then and finally, there's 2 more points I want to make here. This is an asymmetrical game, so we all have different boards, but the top portion is similar, and these are
influence.
These are your influence tracks, and it's an inset piece, which is really nice. But the problem is this is not machined properly, so there's a lot of them where you got to cram it in there, and so that kind of detracts away from something that's really good because your pieces aren't going to fit, so they kind of wobble around a little bit. I don't know how to fix that, but I'm a little disappointed that that's the case in this version of the thing. Also in components, I do want to mention some. There's a bit of a localization issue with this game. This game is originally in French. It was originally released in Europe, and now it's come to the United States as of June 2026. The problem with that is the localization and translation pass didn't do the greatest job. There's actually a card in here that has some French on it that we spotted. I was like, this word's French. That's kind of a thing. It's a little bit of a thing with the rule book, but I think the rule book actually does a really good job. It's just that some of the translation misses on some of the objective cards and stuff where you have a lot of rules. The wording is, you can tell it's translated because it's just slightly funky. And so for a native speaker, you kind of go through it and then you kind of give it a second look and they're like, okay, is this what's going on or is that what's going on? So some of it can be a little bit bad. I didn't find it so terrible that it can't be reasoned through by finding a French person.
They must have had somebody different tasks for each group because I didn't see any type of confusion or mistranslation. All my objective cards were pretty clear.
We found one in the Soviets here. And maybe it's just that the Soviets are confusing. I don't know. So, but I've been talking for a minute here. I'm going to pass it on to somebody else.
As far as
That's the components.
As far as gameplay goes, it's a worker placement. I usually don't like worker placement games. This one I did really, really well. I came in second place. I think that it's fairly simple and straightforward what you need to do. There's not too much of the... What I don't like about worker placement games is I want to do A, but I can't do A until I do B, but I can't do B until I do C. I can't do C until I do D. Well, how do I do D? Oh, you got to do A.
Yeah.
And it's like, what? But this one, it seems more simple and straightforward. You do have a long time to think about what you're going to do on your turn, and there's not too much that other people can do to mess up, but there's one major thing about this game that is, I think it's, I don't know, I would almost think it's a flaw to the game, but you could be spending turn after turn after turn building up to capture a fugitive, and then someone swipes it away. And then your turns were pretty much wasted.
I don't recall that ever happening to me. Did that happen to you?
It did not happen to me.
Happened to me.
But it happened to Owen, and I think it happened to Bob.
Yep.
And just the fact that it is happening, even though it never happened to me, that bugs me. That bugs me because that's where the mechanics get in the way of. If this was the game of take that, hunt, the game of take that, then it's like, okay, it's like if you're playing, Uno No Mercy. You know what you're getting into. This is supposed to be, use your brain, use your strategy, use your knowledge of the cards to advance your, agenda and do it. And then all of a sudden, someone just blows that up.
Adaptability.
Yeah.
I just need to be
the
able
game
to
of adaptability.
Yeah.
But that's my complaint about all worker placement games.
I understand your point on that. I think it's one of the very few things that allows you to influence somebody else, and nobody's doing it. I don't think anybody does it deliberately. It's not like, I know you're doing it, so I'm going to do that. So what I ended up setting mine up as was I would look at a thing and try to find, okay, this is yellow, this is yellow, this is yellow. I'm safe to put yellow here. If I lose the thing I want, I still have a joined resource. I realize I'm preaching to the choir here. You know all these things I'm going to say, but I'm really talking to them,
right.
Not just you. And so I try to keep those things universal, and then I'll get within one or two cards of my thing. I've got 3 actions, and then I'll spike it. It's like, okay, I'm not all the way there. Bam, take it. Now, this happened to Owen a lot and happened to Jay a lot. I think it happened to you like once. The game we played that we recorded that you should go watch, I don't think it happened to me once.
No, and it didn't happen to me because you would have heard. You would have heard it happened to me.
No, you're usually so quiet about such things. All right.
Maybe it's a push your luck.
A little bit
type thing, because what I did to mitigate that is I went for the cheaper fugitives that I could get quicker, that I didn't have to devote 3 turns into building up. And then, maybe that's why I came in second place. Maybe I should have.
But you're also playing the Soviets, and you get 4 extra turns every round.
Well, 4 turns, yes.
So let's have a talk about that. But before we do, I've talked a lot, and you're gonna watch our reviews. You'll always see this. I always get to a point in the review where I say, I have talked a lot. What do you have to say, Bob?
I was waiting for that. So normally I talk about the artwork and some of that quality. Very reminiscent of like 1960s artwork.
Cold War.
The iconography is pretty straightforward. I said it right.
Nice.
It's pretty straightforward. There's no times where you're trying to go on, okay, is that this one or the other one? It's very interesting to me that they're actually using like real names from history.
From the agreed upon bad guys.
So since we couldn't talk about it exactly, I think that's kind of really neat because, it brings real history into gaming. And anybody that might not be interested plays this game with their friends and, I get to learn more about history.
I could start looking up these guys and go, oh my God!
To some degree, but, you have to understand our history,
My only problem with what you're saying, and I also enjoy the theme of this game.
Yeah.
The problem is the theme of this game is actually completely inconsequential to the game.
Correct.
Pretty much.
It has. Yeah. Yes, you're going after these guys. You're going after history's bad guys, but you don't know anything about these dudes, and it doesn't matter that you don't know anything about these dudes. They're just pictures and names on a card.
That was my next thing is like, a lot of other games have little flavor text or little lore.
Yeah.
But to put any of that on the cards would have it would have made it so busy you couldn't read it.
Right.
So-
Especially at our middle agedness here.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and I'm sorry, Bob.
Nope, that was good.
Cool.
That's
Let's
what I wanted
talk
to talk
about, this is an asymmetric game, meaning that we all have our individual powers. And I know very specifically our young guest, Owen, has some thoughts on the asymmetric nature of this game. Go ahead,
Yeah, we
Owen.
talked
with your
about that
thoughts.
beforehand. And,
Yeah.
and you were right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what we've noticed is that the Tazar is incredibly imbalanced, where they have won by a lot both games that we've played. If you watch the playthrough, which you should watch, you can see that Jason here, he could have scored a lot more than he did end up scoring, just out of mercy, I guess. But when I played
For
as
brevity's
it,
sake.
yeah, when I played as it, I scored 18, 19 points, and I could have scored more if I didn't get screwed over by other people playing. And so,
It's always those other players.
yeah,
that
darn
prevent
other
me from
players.
doing the thing.
But I know Jason, other Jason got very close on this one, but I don't think that if we had kept playing past that mark, I don't think any of us could have caught up to that player. And I can't tell you what it is.
I know
about
exactly what it is.
Oh,
I
he
know
knows.
exactly where the worm turns on
He
this
has
one.
some
You go ahead.
thoughts. I don't know what it is, but it's very clear that there's something about it that is generating that extra boost. I also believe that USA is a lot harder to play than some of these other ones. Like, you get a lot of extra stuff here. I don't even know what that one
It
is.
didn't seem like I got
But-
nearly as many boosts that.
I
Well,
played-
those are more cards that you got
I
from.
played the network before, and it's not difficult to play.
No.
But Russia was easy to play, and
Yeah.
it was. You just seemed to move along pretty well.
But this is the reasoning why. It's like, if you look here, Jason is already almost down his track. He has a lot of his bonuses. Jason here is all the way down his track and has all of his bonuses. You're most of the way through your track. You're about halfway through.
Yeah.
I'm all the way down here. I don't have anything. I didn't get to any of the good parts of my track. So, and that's also because I made several mistakes. I could have gotten a lot further, but it shouldn't be reliant on me making the correct decisions 100% of the time. I should be able to make some of those mistakes and still play through the game.
Here's the difference. So for the United States and USSR, they're almost identical. They play the same. And what I mean by that is what you do to be successful is the same. The success for the USA and USSR comes from completing objectives. That's where USSR finds the stamps move your needle. That's where the USA finds the Apollo mission advancement moves your needle. For the Tazar and the network, which is apparently a criminal organization, our stuff comes from capturing fugitives. See, so we capture fugitives, we're rewarded. You capture fugitives, you have to do objectives to be rewarded. And so there's a little bit more mustard to be had here. Now, that being said, for the Tazar specifically, I can tell you where the game breaks. And it breaks right in the middle. Now, this meter goes up to 12. And it moves by every time I capture a guy, I add their stars. It goes up to 12. At 6, you get a card called a Tribunal, which essentially lets you kill a guy again. So you get the points for getting him the first time, then you get the points for hanging him. And when that happened, I started killing my 3 stars. So I kill off my 3 stars, which lets me finish objectives, and I'm piling it on. And that's what happened in that one turn. I went from 7 points to 12 points in the blink of an eye. And I think we were actually all settling in for a slog. And then when I had that turn, I think everybody did this. And it was like, man, I thought we'd be here another 2 hours. And that was 2 minutes. Yeah. And then the race was on. Everybody just started cashing in their chips, doing the best they can. I do think there is a sense that this is OP. This is a little bit stronger than everybody else. And it's stronger enough that this is hard to beat. It can be done, but things got to go your way. Jay made a good stab at catching up. He got to 12 points. But like you said, I could have got to 18. If he had gotten the 15, here's 3 more. As for the network, I know what's going on. I played as the network before.
I played the network too.
And again, it's about capturing fugitives. If you capture fugitives, you can have success, but at the same time, it doesn't have a backbreaker. The Tribunal's backbreaker. Once you get to that, it's
Yeah.
lights out.
And this kind of requires you to capture all three types
Yeah.
of fugitives rather than just anyone that's out there that has a good bonus. You know, I could see out there and say, oh, this military fugitive can give me a great bonus, but I'm already capped out, so there's no point for me getting it.
Right. And so what happens with you is the objectives, again, there's two sides to every objective. There's a normal victory and a triumph victory. So what happens with you is you capped out on military. You're not planning on capturing anymore. You've used it, and now all my objectives say military.
Yep.
And so it's more diffuse. It's a little bit more tricky.
Yeah.
This is the easier. This is amateur level. This is pro level.
Yeah, this thing was. I mean, everything went perfect. Couldn't have gone better. There was a few times where I forgot to take my fourth action, or forgot to do a little bit here and there. But I mean, no one messed me up by taking my fugitives from me.
Yeah, these guys are just fighting that out.
I never had a situation where I had a whole bunch of like military influence, but I needed something else. All worked out for me. So I was cruising right along on easy mode, and I still had no chance of catching the Tazar.
Yeah, I gassed
over there.
everybody. Now, all that being said, that is my main complaint with the game. I'd like to see what other people's experience is.
Maybe if the other players, see that the Tazar is going to catch fugitives, well, maybe you throw your guys in there, try to stop, that player from, capturing fugitives. Maybe that's how you, slow that.
I don't even know how that would
player
work.
down.
Or house rule, move that tribunal
Tribunal
down.
back a little bit?
Yep.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, too. Okay, so on my track, when I hit certain spots, I also get to choose different hunters. The last two hunters that you choose at number 8 are both game breakers as well.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit OP. And, I think when you played as the Czar, same thing happened with you. You made it all the way to the end of the track, and you're still hitting the punching bag. It's like,
Yeah.
Speed bagging it.
Still have more points to get.
Yeah, still have more points to get, and we're all like, come on, Owen, just, land the coup de grace here, son. Now, that being said, this game I spotted at pre-sale for $40.
Dang.
I think that's reasonable for what you
very
get,
reasonable.
especially
Oh my gosh.
especially in this gaming environment where things are so expensive. $40 is a bargain.
And I feel like they could expand it with different factions now.
They could. I don't know any other factions that would be viable. but
Historically
since it's
viable.
Historically,
Yeah.
they had to,
Aliens.
they had to make up the network.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
True.
they're clearly we're out of stuff.
Yeah.
All right, so ultimately, I did enjoy this game. I do like this game. You have to be
Yes.
careful about the balance. You might want to house rule it. That was a good point.
Or maybe only include that one if there's a fourth player.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
like the fourth player, and you give it to the newest person so they have a chance there. All right, final thoughts from Bob.
I'm good. I was just about to say that. I'm good.
Final thoughts from Owen.
I really enjoyed this game. I thought it was a great worker placement game. I'm opposite of him. I love worker placement games. Strategy is a part of gaming that I really enjoy. And so I really, really enjoyed this game. I just wish it was a little more balanced. That's the only negative thought I have for it. Other than I don't think it was mentioned, this game gets sprawled out quickly. You don't have space to do anything. And we talked about it a couple times in our playthrough. Go watch it. Like, he's got all of his stuff in one line. If any of us came over here and sat down, we'd have no idea what was going on.
Yeah.
I thought I kept my stuff a little more organized, but again, he has all of this stuff that he's using. Well, I only got 2 cards in that section. And so it's kind of very quickly sprawls out. You need a lot of space. We have the Lazy Susan under it. That helped us a lot. That's kind of a necessity for playing this game. And I didn't really think that the board stock was the highest quality. If you only have like a smaller Lazy Susan, it starts to warp as the game goes on. And so you don't want to damage your game. You don't want to not have the Lazy Susan and have to be standing up and walking around. And so those are all negatives. But the overall game itself is incredibly strong. It just needs a couple tweaks that you can house rule.
Excellent point about the Lazy Susan as well.
Yeah.
The way this board is arranged, you'd actually have to either collect the cards from in front of somebody else to look at them, or you'd have to get up and move. So Lazy Susan that we happen to put under this, it is a game saver, and I didn't even consider it, because it's like, okay, this is real easy now. It's not everybody's experience.
We got the whole board so we can put stuff out, plus the Lazy Susan underneath it. It's only this board that comes with it. It's designed to be like you're putting that stuff on the table as well.
Yeah.
And then there's no designated spots for discards. We have this whole section over here for discards.
Yeah. I'm looking at the overhead camera.
Yeah.
You
can't even see it.
What is going on here?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a thing. All right, final thoughts about. Or I'm sorry, Owen, were you all set? Cool. Jay, final thoughts?
Yeah, the game is it's a good one. Artwork's good. The mechanics are solid. I look forward to hearing as more people start to play it, what they think of it.
Yeah, I think it's good, especially at the price.
Oh my gosh,
$40 for a game at this point. That's budget gaming.
Yeah, this is a heavy game.
Yeah,
heavier game. So.
Yeah, so $40. Plus, like I said, it's a European game. I don't know if it's shipping out of Europe, but you might have to pay a little bit of a premium on the shipping due to various global impacts. All right, so this is The Hunt. We've been G3 Boardroom. Go ahead and hit like, subscribe. If you played this, comment down on the bottom. We'd love to hear from you. Are we spot on? We way off base? We'd love to hear. Really helps out the channel.
See you next time.